That's why it looks that way. I have my dimmer thing on. Good morning. Hey, Jen. Keep the dimmer thing on. Good morning. Happy Friday. Hi, Anna. I'm not used to seeing you over here. How you doing? Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Denise. Good morning, Terry. Hi, Lori. Hey, Freddie. Well, and also good morning to you, Kim. That's a happy coincidence. Hi, Carrie. Oh, hey, Janelle. Hey, Allison and Allison. We have a lot of Allisons and a lot of Jens. Have you noticed that? How's everybody feeling this morning? Survived this week? Hey, Cancer season. Feeling around with these crystals. Hi, Cindy. Good morning, not your chickie. Freddie says barely. Hey, Nicole. Good morning, Jackie. I'm gonna do this one too. I'm picking out the crystals. Good morning. Lori says, I have been so airheaded in the last 48 hours. Interesting. Janelle says, I slept on my couch because I was so tired yesterday. That never happens. Good morning, Olivia. Yeah, cancer season is intense. I mean, it always is, but like, oh my God. This has been one for the books. And let's talk about dreams because they've been really intense lately and really on the nose. So I know that I and at least four of my friends and some members of the community have had dreams this week that connected to mother stuff. And I'm curious if any of you have also had dreams like that or had dreams in which you were working through old things or things that need working through in the dream state. Has that been happening for you guys? Freddie says, so Christine says, so much dreamland activity. Freddie says, my dreams have been crazy lately. Kim says, wild dreams last night. Yes, 100%. It's been really wild. Renee says, yes, Tuesday evening and last night. Stuff with mom stuff, Renee. And yeah, Anna says, yes, on the old stuff. So, we talked about solstice, right? And solstice was Tuesday. And we are moving into the weekend where we're going to have a really big energetic shift. And I know that seems kind of like, aren't we always having really big energetic shifts? And the answer is yes, we are. But they are getting exponentially bigger and more intense. And Cancer energy really connects to the mother wound. And the mother wound may not necessarily connect to your actual mother, but could also be a person in your life from whom you desired, required, or needed care from, or who was that support person for you. Our mothers are, that voice in our heads that kind of set the limits for how expansive we are or how limited we are. Especially as women, the voices of our mothers tells us how to become a woman and what's required of a woman, and in some cases explicitly explains to us how not to and how we don't want to. And for those of us with either contentious, strained, or complicated relationships with our mothers. I know many who you're attracted to connecting with me. That's typically something you do have. Um, the the moving through of that energy is so important right now, because as we push through this big energetic shift towards the weekend, that's the like final frontier of limiting blocking type of energy for you, is that mother wound. Because move that aside, like, don't have that anymore, don't feel that way anymore, really, and the sky is opened up suddenly. You're released. You have free reign to create magic in any way that feels good to you. So working through that mother wound right now is probably feeling really intense for those of you in it. However, a lot of it is being done in a way that doesn't require you to do in that busy way, right? You don't have to go through any specific processes right now. You're being taken through the process, and a lot of the process is happening in the astral realm, because you're able to connect with your higher self in that space, and with the energies of that mother person in your life and any other things that are coming up. So, definitely something to observe with yourself and hold a lot of space for yourself with this week, because it is intense. And the other thing that's really intense is all a lot of you have been with me for a while. You've been doing this work consistently, right? And I was thinking about this the other day too, because I spend a good amount of my time processing through my shit. Like, it's kind of my full-time job. Like, I don't just do it here with you guys. Like, I'm always doing my work. And those who are set to be the kind of like the front line of awakening and moving into this new energy and helping, you have to do your healing first. And it feels very clear to me that there are some of us who've been doing it for a while, and then there are others who also agreed to be on the front line, but they didn't quite get there yet. And so now they're doing it immediately, fast, right away. And it's violent in some cases. And I'm seeing it short circuit some people around me this week, where they are overloaded with emotions that they don't have the tools to work through or hadn't thought about before, don't know how to deal with, and all that kind of stuff. So, patience for those around you who are suddenly going through like a 12-step awakening process in in a matter of hours, right? That's happening all around us. So as we move into this weekend, let me see, it's the 24th today. So the date that's really hitting for me is the 26th, but basically the energy of the weekend is what we're talking about. It's not anything you need to prepare for besides just understanding that the energy is going to spike and then drop. Like voomp voomp, okay? And then it's probably going to spike again. We'll see. We're channeling on the 28th, so if you have questions, make sure that you're emailing those to me for my normalized magic people, because we're going to, tap into channeling during the new moon energy. Clyde says, this is exactly what I'm going through right now. I'm kind of shook that I just came upon this live. I'm glad that you're here. Welcome. Good morning. Hi, Kit. Hi, Karen. Hi, Kate. Kate says, confronted a woman personified as fear in a dream and literally kicked her off of a bus I was driving. Wild stuff. That's the kind of dreams I've been having too, Kate, where I'm acting in such a way that I never would before, and standing up for myself in a way that I never would before, and like kind of a little bit violent. Like, I didn't like hurt my mother necessarily in my dream, but I did like kind of throttle her and like shove her mouth closed and like, listen to me. So there's been a lot of like that angst coming through, and that like repressed anger and just like disappointment and just all of that just cycling through. So it is exhausting. I'm not getting a whole lot of rest when we sleep right now, and that's what we need. So we're doing the things, but just be really cognizant of that. It's a wild time for a lot of people, and it is not a wild time for everybody. So just kind of know that too. If like Karen here, who is finally feeling good since Cancer energy came through. If you're feeling good, I say this. I don't think I say this enough. If you're feeling good, that's amazing, and I want you to feel good, and I want to hear about it. I tap into the collective and I tap in through the channel of what I'm experiencing as well. And so I share that with you in the hopes that those who are going through those same feelings I'm going through and that I'm picking up on can, feel that solidarity and we can connect and talk. But it's great to feel good. And I want you to feel good. So if you're feeling good and like everyone else is like, then just know you've probably done your work and that's why you're feeling so good. So, right? Also, ebb and flow. Ebb and flow. So yeah, whew, that's been happening. Um, but do you also feel like even as exhausted as you might be or how like intense things have been, do you also kind of feel a like kind of a quickening, like an excitement coming, like you're like, ooh, something's happening, like things are actually happening because I'm feeling that way. Mm, my coffee's still hot. So great. Kate says, I'm feeling strangely empowered from these dreams. Nicole says, absolutely. Marion says, yes, I'm feeling good but excited. Um, yes. So I did not see the planetary alignment, but throughout the entire month of June, those planets are moving are in alignment. And this morning, and I was up to and I forgot to go look at it, but did anybody see it? Did anybody see the planetary alignment? I think it's um what are the planets? Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And this morning, the crescent moon was also up there. Um, this isn't going to happen again until 2040, and it looks like the last time it happened was 2004. Um, but what does that mean for us? Here's the thing: we are part of something much larger than just like one person running around on a planet. There are things at work right now that are definitely beyond our comprehension, but we can learn and we can feel them. And I think that a certain sense of awe and wonder is kind of necessary at this time as we realize that like the planets are literally shifting and moving into alignment to create energetic flow, right? That is what happens when you become aligned. You create energetic flow. It's like your chakras aligning. There's no blocks. That means energy can go vroom and create that channel. And what happens when you don't have any blocks to energy and that channel can just go vroom all the way through? Magic happens, creation happens, new worlds are built. And that is what is happening right now. So that feels very exciting, very, very exciting. Um, yeah, feels very exciting. All right, anyway, let's get to it because I have these crystals sitting in front of me and I'm ready to do card stuff. If you're new to Coffee and Magic, welcome. Make sure that you're following me on Instagram if you're watching on TikTok because I post more pertinent things on my Instagram stories, especially. And also make sure that you are on my mailing list. I do not spam on my mailing list. You will receive energy updates through email and you will receive updates on different times that I'm going live because sometimes I shift the time. So make sure that you're on there. You can find the link in my profile on either of these platforms. So make sure you're on there. Again, our next live channeling, no, our next live channeling is the 28th. Okay. All right, so we're going to get started on sensory card pulls. I'm going to give you 3 crystals to look at, and you choose which one feels most aligned with you this morning. And then drop your thing in the comments. The first one is going to be a Septarian stone, also called dragon stone. This one is just is a round one, and I don't know if you can see it, but to me, it looks like it's just one single dragon scale. You see that? So this is a Septarian, or we can call it the dragon stone, whatever you want. That's the first one. The second one is this one, tangerine quartz. Janelle, make sure you email it to me. Tangerine quartz. And the last one is a selenite wand. What are you feeling this morning? Septarian or dragonstone, tangerine quartz, or selenite wand? I'll start shuffling. You drop your selections into the comments. Take all three if they are. Good morning. I'm going to pick one today too. What am I picking? I think I'm doing two. I'm doing the dragonstone and the tangerine quartz, I think. Okay, Janelle. Janelle's going with the flow and choosing his read. That feels a little bit like cheating to me, but okay, we'll go with it. Again, if you're just joining us, we're about to start the card pulls. You're choosing from 1, 2, or 3 of the 3 crystals to get your message. This is the dragonstone or septarian. That's the first one. How's that feeling to you? The second one is tangerine quartz. Here we go. And the third one is a selenite wand. So which one are you feeling? Drop it in the comments. I'm shuffling. Nice. All right. Are we ready? Again, you're picking from the dragonstone, the tangerine quartz, or selenite wand. I'm going to show them to you one last time. Dragonstone, tangerine quartz, selenite wand. Which one is calling to you? I know the tangerine quartz is so yummy, like, you know. All right, here we go. And I am drawing from this deck here. It's The Wisdom of Avalon by Colette Baron Reed. First one up is going to be, it's going to be the Dragonstone. You ready for this one? I'll wait until you tell me that you're ready, my dragon people. Tangerine is reminding me to take my vitamins and such today. That's good. All right, we're ready to rock. Let's do this. Okay, so dragon. Here's your story. You got the risk card. You got the hawk. And you've got the stag. These are not new energies, not necessarily new energies, especially not the stag. And so we're gonna talk about it, my dragonstone people. And again, listen to all of the card pulls. Take anything you want out of any of them. Take what you like and leave what does not resonate. The stag is here to remind you of something, and we've had this reminder a few times here lately, and maybe you've gotten this reminder as well in previous card pulls. The stag energy is talking about walking into the room with your heart open. So why don't you just take a second and figure out that posture with me? Take your shoulders, roll them up to your ears, and then shift them back and down. Got it? So roll your shoulders up to your ears, point your shoulders back, opening that chest, and then drop them down. Your heart should feel open. You are not protecting this area at all. In fact, well, if you got big honkers like me, you're leading with your chest all the time, but you're leading energetically with this part of your body. Okay? That is how you're being asked to walk through your life. Heart open, shoulders down, spine supple and yet straight and aligned. Walking through life like you should be exactly where you are. Own your energy, own your space. You don't need to be loud. In fact, the most powerful people say very little because they don't need to. If you need to explain why you're important, why you're smart, why someone should love you, why you should be respected, you are already you're already in the wrong energy. You should never have to explain that. Never, ever, ever. And yes, I did say honkers. And I kind of regret it because I've never called boobs honkers before. And I don't know what happened. It's like my brain just went whoop and turned into a 13-year-old boy's brain. But yeah, honk honk. Anyhow, um, that's your stag energy. Okay. Now, you also have the risk card and the hawk card. The risk card is actually joining in with the stag here because even though you may have gotten this message before, there's something about this for you that feels trepidatious, let's say. Like maybe you think you've done this before and something not good has happened, or maybe you've witnessed other people put themselves out there and your perception is that they had a poor time of it. They were attacked. Um, they had issues that you don't want to have. I don't know. Whatever it is that is making you feel really cautious and fearful about just like stepping out there with your full self. It feels risky. But at this point, ask yourself, have you gone too far to turn back? Yes, you have. If you're here watching this today, you've gone too far to turn back and all and live in a fear-based state. Be okay with it. And just wonder, I wonder why, but not going to think about it. You're way past it. So it's fine to feel the risk. Feel the risk and push through it. On the other side of risk is understanding. On the other side of the unknown is understanding. That's the only way you get it. You don't get to know things before you do the things, right? We would love to, especially all of us earth signs and like looking at you, Virgos and Capricorns, but you don't get to. That's not a thing. Trusting in your own process and trusting your own self is the thing. You also have the heart, you also have the hawk. I was trying to say honkers again. You also have the hawk. And this is a quickie. That's what she said. This is just reminding you that you are getting messages now all the time. And you don't have to decode them because they're really not subtle and they're so on the nose that like it's ridiculous. You're like, this can't be a sign because it's too obvious. It's almost like the sign appears and it's like, P.S. This is a sign written on it. It is a sign. There. Yes. Okay. So anyway, that's your Dragonstone reading. And yes, Kate, you distracted me with that, but let's be honest, I distracted myself with my own boobs this morning. So it is what it is. You know, happy Friday. I'm looking at them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're looking at them too, but like I am. I don't know. I don't know. I'm having a morning. Let me just drink this coffee and shuffle. The next one is going to be Tangerine Quartz. All right. If you're just joining us, you missed the first one, but you didn't miss the second or the third. So Tangerine Quartz is next. Selenite Wand is the third. Which one are you feeling? Okay. You let me know. Drop it in the comments. And if you missed any part of this live and you'd like to see it again, you can watch the replay on my YouTube or my IGTV. TikTok doesn't keep replays of lives, but you can find them on my IGTV or my YouTube. Oh, I think you should make sure you're following me on YouTube because the live channeling is now streaming on YouTube for free. and you'll get a notification if you follow me on YouTube. So that's something to note for yourself. That's all right. Don't worry about it. Does that sound annoying? Let me do that. All right. The next one is tangerine quartz. Okay. You ready for this one? Also, is the sun coming out today? I thought it was supposed to be only partly cloudy. It's kind of dreary here. Okay, tangerine quartz friends, are you ready? Fire fairy, which makes sense, right? It matches. It's perfect. So, fire fairy. I'm curious if you were here for Monday's Coffee and Magic. Did you also get fire fairy, or whenever we had fire fairy? Anyway, fire fairy, the eagle, and the king. Okay, let's get into it. We're going to talk about the king first. So, the king is embodying masculine energy. And today, the king is going to speak to a very specific situation for you, tangerine people. So, hopefully, that resonates. Something happening with you is not like, you know how there are some things in life that are very much like, oh, just wait and see what happens, or it's the energy, or whatever, like it's more of a flow type of thing that you don't have to actively do anything about. The situation that this king is referring to in your life, tangerine people, is not one of those things. You actually do need to step into some sort of action, and I'm wondering if you are hesitating on that, or if you're just feeling like maybe you're not the one who does need to do the action. But this card is coming through, some decision needs to be made, and the action needs to be taken in order to move the energy through. And it's falling on you a little bit more than anyone else in the situation, only because at this time you have an influx of masculine energy coursing through you. And this is not talking about your gender. I don't care if you're, you know, presenting as a man or presenting as a woman. It does not matter. This is masculine energy, which means it's an outward energy. It's a driving force energy. It is a non subtle energy. Okay. You have that moving through you at this time. So that naturally lends itself to you making the decision. So, probably the people around you are secretly or not so secretly waiting for you to move. So, you have to decide how will you move. Okay. Now, we have the fire fairy and the eagle. And the eagle, if we're talking about bird energy in this specific deck, the eagle is the most powerful, I would say, the most like in your face kind of energy. Think about if you've ever seen an eagle in your life, how did that make you feel seeing an eagle? I'll tell you, the first time I saw an eagle, I just felt like my whole body just like stopped for a second and nothing else existed, because I couldn't, like, my brain couldn't process, number one, how big that bird was, because it was really close to me, and just how big its energy was, how amazing, how magnificent it was. Think about that, because you have a lot of opportunities to observe this kind of power in your life, to be in awe of how big things truly are, and how beautiful, and how vast and powerful. So the eagle is asking you to look at that. And then you have the fire fairy. And the fire fairy is actually what's going to be coming for you after you handle this. Whatever this is taking up a lot of your energy, and you may feel like, oh my god, I have things I want to create and I have ideas and stuff, but like I don't know how to make it happen. Do this first and allow the creativity to flow. This is the energy blocker right here. This is coming after you handle the situation. Okay? So that is Tangerine quotes. Hope that resonated. Chris says ridiculous. I literally have to decide how we will move, when and where. Well, that's super on the nose for you, huh? Oh my lord. All right, last one is selenite. I'm shuffling. Freddie says annoyingly accurate. That's me. I'm here to annoy you. Andrew says, how have you been? Who are you talking to, babe? Clyde says, I'm blown away. That's good. I like it. Is it your first time here? Oof. Those just came out. How many here? 2? 3. Okay. Let me drink some of this. Thank you for asking. So Andrew's asking how I've been. And I have been fine. I'm very tired. I have a lot of ideas, doing a lot of mother wound healing and dealing with a lot of big energies in my inner circle with my people and having to hold space for that a lot. I'm having meltdowns quite frequently. I am a Cancer rising, but I think all in all, I'm good. I feel excited. I feel like everything that's happening is moving me into a space that I want to be in. And I feel that for you guys too. So I'm holding that high note as I've been doing for a long time, but I feel like it's finally like something's about to pop. So I'm excited for that. So thank you for asking. All right. So Stellanite, the Bard, partnership. This is going to be another specific reading, you guys. We don't always get specific, but when we do, we like to get really specific, right? And the hawk. Okay. This is so specific. Okay. I'm dying to know who like really resonates with this one. Okay. So the Bard and the partnership. This selenite card. Are you okay? How do I phrase this in a very clear way? You've known you've probably for a long time now have in your brain been saying to yourself or maybe even out loud, I need to write a book, I need to tell my story, I need to get out there. Like telling your story in some way, shape, or form, whether it means like I need to write a book or I want to write songs or whatever it is. I don't know what medium it would be expressed, but it's something you've probably been thinking about for a while and being like, well, when the time is right, when the time is right, when the time is right. And also, of course, because you know, like anyone who has anything worth saying, you doubt that anybody would want to hear it. Do you know what I mean? And I get that because that's absolutely me as well. But anyone who has anything worth saying always believes that no one would really want to hear about it. And it is such a shame because people who really have nothing worth saying say all the things and write all the books. And we just sit here and we're like, all right, you know? So this is your poke that says, yes, it's time. It's time to tell your story in whatever way, shape, or form that is. But even more specifically, for those of you who are the ones who are like, I should write a book, right? What's happened for you? Has something happened? Is something about to happen? Are there stirrings of something inviting you to join forces in some way to express your story, either in visual media, invited to do like a guest blog post, or maybe even somebody saying like, I want to write your book with you, or I invite you to do whatever it is. Has something happened? I'm asking because it's so strong. Like this one is so strong. You also have the hawk, and we already talked about the hawk, and it's the same message. It's reminding you that synchronicities and signs are no longer subtle for you. So stop pretending you don't see them. They are meant to be in your face, loud and clear, because there's just not a whole lot of room anymore for the deciphering. It's go time. Okay. It's really, really, really go. It's really, really go time. So feel into that for yourself. Um, I wanted to tell you something, and I'm going to say this, and I'm saying it to myself as well, because I think it's really important. Um, the way that we heal this world and heal our disconnection from each other is to tell our stories. Okay. And we don't need to have a whole lot of preciousness about our stories either, because I see that too, where there's kind of a withholding of telling a story because of a really strange mix of feeling like people won't understand and will think poorly of you, while at the same time feeling like your story is more intense than anybody else's story, or not easy to understand, and like is too traumatic, or whatever it is. It's both of the extremes, but together. Does that make sense? And all of that is just a way to separate yourself from other people. When we tell our stories exactly as our stories actually happened, with our unique way of expressing how those things impacted us, we give other people permission to do the same thing. And when we do that, we realize that we have so much more in common than we don't. And when we do that, we open up and create community. That's what my intention is here with the Normalized Magic community. It is to tell my story. And as I continue to tell my story, open up the platform for you to share your stories as well. I haven't pushed into this so much, and I'm not like being like, here's a commercial for you. But I mean, I need to tell you that that is my intention for this community, that we grow together, share our stories, and through the doing of that, through the telling of that, through the sharing of that, restore our connection to ourselves and to each other, and grow stronger and more sovereign. You don't need me to tell you what to do. What you might need is a community that has experiences similar to you, that normalize your experience for you so that you can heal, so you can feel like you're part of something, and then you can move to the next phase, whatever that is for you. So, really, really feel this for yourself. Telling your story is really important. Don't be so fucking precious about it. Let's go, right? When you speak, the vibration of your words will bring your people in every time, as long as it's in alignment. Okay. So, this is a message for everybody, not just the Selenite people. Tell your story. And for some of you, and this is for me as well, if you felt that it's really been difficult to like sit down and like write a book, or even to know what your story is, I get that, because sometimes your story is like still being written, like as we live and breathe. And I feel like that's true with me too. But guess what? That's always going to be the case. Your story is never over. Your story doesn't end. It's constantly going. It's like it's an endless story. It's always evolving, always changing. Jump in somewhere and just go, right? Who cares? Say the things. Get it out there. If you're feeling that push, this is your sign. This is your poke from the universe. This is your not so subtle message. Go for it. Okay? So that is your selenite for today. Um, Reminders of dates: 6/28, June 28th is our next live channeling event. Make sure that you are on my mailing list. Links are in my bio. If you are interested in joining the Normalized Magic community, there's a link in my bio that you can apply for that as well. And what you get in the Normalized Magic community is I have a whole site where you'll have meditations you can get into, a group board that's private, that's not part of Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. Private board, you can say things without having to monitor yourself. And then every week on Wednesdays, we have coffee and coaching, which is similar to this, but in a small group setting in a Zoom chat room. Everything's always recorded, and we're creating a really beautiful community there. This is also a way when you join the Normalized Magic community to give back to me and to support me, because this is my mission. This is my full time job. And you giving your energy back to me in that beautiful infinite loop allows me to continue what I'm doing. So I very much appreciate everybody who is a part of this community and who is helping me build it and allowing this to be what I do. I love you so much. Have an amazing weekend. Remember, we're having that energy spike. If you're on my email list, which I suggest you should be, I do not spam through it. You will get some information on energy stuff as it happens, as I think about it. Okay. And again, channeling on the 28th. I love you. Have a great weekend. Drink water if you can. Mwah.